Tired but restocked, Verissa and Pringle leave for Hamlet, but they are barely out of town before running into an orc, who demands Verissa come with him to see the chief. She uses her divine power to command the orc to flee, and she and Pringle continue onwards to reach the ghost ship the next day. After touching base with Falstad, Verissa heads to the captain's quarters and sets the necklace into the slot. Immediately, the ship starts moving and creating a fog around it. Soon the ghost of Captain Oswald appears and a short conversation follows. Verissa notices that the ship is no longer in the cave, and it is night, when only moments before it was day. She rushes to the deck and sees the ship is crewed fully by ghosts, and the captain introduces his first mate, Mistress Daphne, a mage cloaked in red, and Verissa shares with them the information about the Philosopher's Stone, and finds out that's where the ship is headed. Eventually, they reach the spot where the stone lies beneath the waves, and Verissa volunteers to dive down. Mistress Daphne offers a water-breathing enchantment, but when she touches Verissa to complete the spell, she vanishes. Unperturbed, Verissa dives into the cold water and descends into the dark depths below. But even the cold depths are not without danger, as Verissa finds out when an eel takes a bite out of her leg. Combat follows, but Verissa is out of her element and out of luck, and the eel makes short work of her, and there ends the tale of Verissa. And so Death gathers up his dice and awaits the next challenger. From the ether steps Claresa, a 14-year-old half-elven girl, who found a spellbook, and after a strange fugitive burned down her family barn, she discovers she has a gift with magic and decides to run away from home, seeking her fortune. How will she fare when she is dicing with death?
Hey everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. How is it going, Ryan?
It's going well.
Good. How's your week been?
Good. I was out of town at a conference all week. Just got back and ready for some D&D.
Were you the keynote speaker of the conference?
No. I presented a poster. Got an award for the poster, so that's nice.
Ooh, can we see the award?
Doesn't even have my name on it, though. But
let's see it. First prize.
First prize.
Nice. Well, congratulations. What was the topic of your poster?
The title was STEM of iron oxide nanoparticles in situ and ex situ. Let's play some D&D.
What is in situ and ex situ?
In situ is like during a reaction. So you took. Hold on a sec. How many years of Latin did you take?
2.
How many years did I take?
0.
So yeah, what does in situ mean, Neil?
Yeah, but if you recall, I did not do too well in my Latin class. Yeah. At least the second year.
So basically it's mean you're doing your experiments while the reactions are happening, as opposed to after the fact.
Okay.
Ex situ.
Coolio. Let's play some D&D. So sadly, Verissa is dead.
You're not sad about that.
Dead to the shrieking eels.
You and your eel are laughing with joy.
The shrieking eels have killed Verissa, and so we have Claresa, who's here to explain everything to the rest of us. The 14-year-old pretentious little snot who had her family house burned down while she found this mysterious spellbook. So,
Yeah.
take it away, Ryan.
Take it away. So yes, your house was burned down by a mysterious stranger wandering through. This intrigued Claresa,
Mm-hmm.
who has apparently a gripe with her family or something, so took this opportunity to run away from home. You followed this stranger to the east, always to the east, where several days east of your home, south of Vellum, in Goblin country, you stumble across the body of the stranger, along with a mysterious book inscribed with mystical runes, which, to your surprise, shifted and reshaped before your eyes, revealing hidden secrets,
Ooh.
long forgotten. Or maybe the wizard wrote these spells last week. Who knows?
Who knows? But I believe I have read magic, armor, color spray, and jump.
Yeah, so you probably found a safe spot away from the goblins in the woods where you holed up for a couple of days, poring over this spell book and uncovering these secrets. You've been eating through your rations. You've got however many are apparently left on your character sheet.
1 week.
1 week. So you packed pretty well for running away from home. And here you are.
Am I? Where am I precisely? Am I like in the middle of the wilderness, in a town?
You are in the woods, unless you could have gone to town if you think that's what you would have done. I imagined you would have.
No, well, we can start in the woods. Would seem like a perfectly nice place to start a D&D campaign. So I've got the spell book, and I've been reading it because apparently I've got 4 spells already. And to start, I will memorize color spray.
Ready? How do I give you a character?
There's if you can get into the settings menu.
Or can you choose which character you have? I mean, I made a new character. If you click on roll as, do you have Claresa as an option, or do I have to give that to you?
I have Claresa, Quolnir, and Michelle.
Yeah, so Claresa. And then you should have that goofy little token I
I
gave you.
cannot control the token.
I don't believe you.
See, because I have Claresa because I am Claresa. Like, that's my name. You haven't given me control of the token.
I made a new character for Claresa.
Yeah, but did you assign the token to that character?
I assigned the token to that character.
Did you assign that character to me?
That's what I was asking how to do.
In the character, there should be a setting like you play as or something.
It's a show to players.
No.
Isn't shared with any. Okay, so there's got to be a shared.
Owned by or controlled by. Should be a drop-down bar menu in the settings.
Roll-20 tutorials. It's why they watch, right? Empire control.
Are you in the character in the sidebar or in the token menu?
In the sidebar. Is it in the token?
There should be one in each. So you can assign the token to me, or you can assign the token to a character and then assign the character to me.
Can be edited or controlled by. There we go.
There we go.
Claresa.
Okay. Now I got it. Excellent.
Cool. Not that it actually makes much difference on this map, but there we have it. So you're in the woods. You've deciphered some of these spells and are probably eager to try them out.
Yes. So I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to try them out. So I'm going to look for... I'm just going to start tromping around the woods, trying like roughly in the direction of Vellum, hoping to run into...
So you probably wandered... You're not entirely sure where you are, but you probably wandered a little bit to the west to get because you know that these woods are inhabited by goblins.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have found a safe spot out of their stomping grounds. Hold up for a couple of days.
Yeah. So now that I've got my color spray, I want to try it out on a person. So I would like to go start poking around looking for a person, a humanoid.
All right. So you're wandering through these woods, somewhat dry and sparsely treed.
Okay.
Decent visibility and smooth dirt ground. Are you walking which direction? Northeast towards Vellum?
Yeah, I want to make my way in the direction of Vellum.
Okay. So you hear the tweeting and cawing of birds, squirrels scurrying around the trees. About an hour or so, you make your way onto the road.
Mm-hmm.
Relatively wide dirt road, heading east and west. You expect that Vellum is to your east, and to the west, your home and
Okay,
beyond.
so I will head ever eastward then, always to the east.
Great. So you walk through the sparse forest. Occasionally, a farm pops into view.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that. So the first farm, I'm going to start looking for people on the farm. I'm going to start looking for farmers or, children of farmers.
Yeah, you see no one in this first farm.
Oh, I'm going to go start poking around through the actual farm itself then. If there's no one there, I'm going to just let myself into the house, or I'll knock on the door and then poke my head in, walk in and start looking around.
Yeah. So there's a farmhouse set back only a little ways from the street, maybe a couple 100 feet. And then behind it, the trees have been cleared and there's rolling hills for several acres. Rolling green hills.
Okay. I go in the house then. Well, I give a knock first, but
into the house.
Yeah.
You hear a shout from back in the house. Just a minute.
Okay, I wait patiently, getting the components for my color spray spell ready, which I'm looking up right now. Color spray, a pinch each of powder or sand that is colored red, yellow, and blue. Uh-oh. Did I find these components with the book, or am I out of components?
You need red, yellow, and blue?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, shit.
You found... I can see red, and... Do you have any, herbalism skills?
I have agriculture and cooking.
Can roll an herbalism at minus 5 to have come up with something.
Okay. Herbalism keys off of, what is it?
Wisdom, I believe, at a penalty.
Oh, God. All right, so my wisdom is 10, so let's just roll a d20, see how that goes. No. No.
So, yeah.
All right, so maybe I don't have...
Yeah, you didn't find shit. You don't have any sand.
Okay.
I mean, you found dirt, but nothing red, yellow, or blue. You hear a creak as the door opens. Standing before you is a slender woman in a bonnet.
I pull the
dress and an apron.
I pull the normal colored sand out of my pocket and throw it in the air while waving my arms and go Shazam!
Shazam. Roll. Let's roll an intelligence check. Can't think of anything else.
28.
Yeah, I'm gonna get creative here. Let's. So there's a flash of colors and light. Let's do. Roll a d20 and give me a second to look something up.
Oops.
Just a flat d20.
9.
9.
Is this like a limited wild surge table?
Shh. Hold on a second while my PDFs load.
And Claresa is dead in a fireball that encompasses her.
No, I think we're fine.
I summon a giant eel.
Yeah. So Sort of to your surprise, there's a flash of smoke and flashes of color spew forth from your fingertips, and color spray goes off generally as expected. Let me pull up the spell description, or you can let me know what it does. I'm pretty sure you just KO this 0th level house maiden.
Upon casting the spell, the wizard causes a vivid fan-shaped spray of clashing colors to spring forth from his hand from 1 to 6 creatures, d6, within the area effect in order of increasing distance from the wizard. All above creatures, blah, blah, blah. So if they are 6th level or 6 hit dice or more, they're entitled to a saving throw versus spell. Otherwise,
you stumbled across a 6 hit die housewife.
Yeah.
Level 6 housewife.
They're struck unconscious for 2d4 rounds.
Okay. You want to roll that, or should I?
You should roll it in secret.
If you say so.
I say so.
All right. So there's a flash of color, and the woman is knocked back and falls flat on her back. And
Claresa dances for joy, like stepping on each foot, dancing on the.
There's a little circle of like sparkles and birds flying above her head.
Stepping over the body, she runs inside and starts looking around.
20 wedge.
Yeah. She runs inside and starts looking around for stuff.
You step into a small parlor. There's like couch or whatever they have. I don't know what old time people sat on. Cushiony chair things. Some uncomfortable wicker furniture as well. Small end table. You see the entrance to another room. There's a hallway to your right, and then an entrance to another room on your left.
Okay.
Neither are doors. They're just.
I just go to the room to my left.
Okay. You step into a small kitchen. There's a wood burning stove currently lit with a pot of something.
Ooh, I stare into the flames for a moment. Are there wood burning stove, right? So there must be some sort of logs in there or sticks in there on fire.
Yes.
Do any of them have a non-burning section that is sticking out of the stove, or are they all like fully in the stove?
No, they're pretty much like on fire.
Okay, Claresa starts looking around for the wood supply.
Yeah, there's a little stack of wood right next to the stove.
Okay, I stick in like a decent-sized log part way with enough of the handle sticking out that I could then grab it. And I stick it in there that way for a little bit, and I keep going, searching around the house.
Okay. So you lean it out the side of the stove. There's another hallway or doorway out of this room.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right. It sort of circles to your right, and you find yourself in a hallway. To your right, you see a few doors, and then at the end of the hallway is back to the room you first stepped in. And then to your left is more hall. You see a door ajar at the end. And then several closed doors.
I'll go to the door that's ajar.
Okay. Right. You push it open, and you see a large straw mattress and a small crib at the foot of this mattress, as well as a dresser up against.
Oh, a baby! I look in the crib.
There's a small baby, fast asleep in the crib. Watch Neil get into the mindset of a 14-year-old. 14-year-old who may or may not be chaotic evil. We're about to find out.
Does this bedroom have any exits to the outside, like windows or doors?
There is a window. The only door is the door you just stepped in.
Is it a window with glass, or is it just like a hole in the wall with shutters?
It is a shuttered hole in the wall.
Okay. I open the shutters and try and climb out. Is this like an easy to exit window, or would this be awkward?
Sure, you can hop right out. You're small and slender.
Right. Would it be easy to hop out of if I was carrying, say, a 5-pound baby?
Sure, although the baby weighs a lot more than 5 pounds.
I don't know how much babies weigh. How much does a baby weigh?
Typically at birth, like 7 is about average.
Oh, really? Okay.
and this is not a newborn, so
How much does this child weigh? I pick it up.
you reach and pick it up. Roll a wisdom check. Willpower check.
Is it a willpower check not to go, oh, look at the baby?
Sure, you can think of it as such.
20.
Okay, so you pick up the baby and sort of jostle it. Its foot gets caught in the crib on the way out, and it awakens and starts screaming.
Oh, look at the baby!
Move.
I put it on my shoulder and start patting it and stuff.
Maybe just over 10 pounds. You're not able to quiet it down. It's screaming and flailing arms. You can carry it, but it's making noise.
Okay. I carry it back out to the kitchen where I pull out the log.
Yeah, at this point the log is on fire at the end.
And then I go toss the log in a bedroom. Like, on a bed. The burning log.
That you just came out of?
Sure.
Okay.
And then I leave.
Okay, out the front door?
Out the front
window?
door. Yep.
Okay.
With the baby over my shoulder.
Okay, yeah. The woman is still passed out in the doorway. You step over her and walk out.
Yeah.
And down the small cobblestone path towards the road.
Yeah, my intention with tossing the burning log on the bed was to catch the house on fire. If that was.
Oh, the mattress went up like a torch.
Good, excellent. And I proceed down the street, kind of patting and rubbing the baby's back and trying to do all the things that you do, to keep a baby.
You can't seem to get it to stop screaming, but
come on.
Nonetheless, which direction are you headed?
I will continue to walk east.
East. Okay. Okay. You make it maybe half an hour down the road. Roll another wisdom check.
24?
Okay. The baby's quieted down at this point. It has actually fallen back asleep on your shoulder.
Excellent.
You sort of round a bend around one hill,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see up the crest. The road goes up the crest of another hill, and coming down that hill are three short humanoid creatures, maybe 200-300 feet up the road.
Do they look like children
amongst themselves? That's your first thought, and then within a couple of seconds, you're like, those look like some pretty wicked, nasty-looking children.
Maybe I should get off the road. I try and get off the road.
Okay. All right. You step off the road.
I try and find like a hiding spot in some bushes or in a ditch, or behind a big fallen log. Or whatever I can find, I'm going to try and find some cover.
Okay. I guess roll a dexterity check to conceal yourself.
My dex is 9. Oh, that should be a 9 instead of a 6, but yeah.
Nice. You find the perfect log with a drops off the edge of a hill, so you jump behind this log behind the hill, out of sight of the road. You hear the cackling, screechy language growing louder. They walk past.
I just pat the baby and stroke it.
The baby stays quiet.
Cool.
And within a few minutes, the voices subside. Heart beating out of your chest. You find yourself alone in the woods with this baby.
Okay, I pop out onto the road and look to the whichever direction is where they were headed. I think it.
They were headed west. They were heading towards you.
Right. So I look out on the road and look west.
You see them just rounding, like the last one, just rounding the corner around the next hill.
Letting out a sigh, I wipe the sweat from my brow and continue east.
Yeah. You crest this hill, and from here you get a view of Vellum, small, it was walled, wasn't it?
I think it was.
I think they had a palisade wall. Maybe not.
I know
There's a palisade.
There was an inn on the way between Solstice and Velenum that had a palisade wall.
Yeah, that's behind you.
I don't
It wasn't
remember.
a palisade. It was like a wooden slab. I think Vellum is unprotected.
I don't remember
You
if
see
Velenum
a small collection of wooden houses. Maybe another hour up the road.
Okay. It's getting tiring. I don't want to carry the baby this far. I'm starting to regret taking this child.
Give it to the goblins.
I considered it strongly for a moment. I will make my way towards the first house that I can see.
Yeah. You're pretty sure that goblins love the taste of baby. You feel like your father told that to you when you were a kid, and that if you threatened that if you wouldn't shut up, that he would feed you to the goblins.
That's probably why I ran away from home.
You recall him telling you that goblins would pay good money to taste your flesh.
Now,
you're beginning to regret not pawning this baby off on the goblins.
I am beginning to regret this. I look back. Are the goblins... They're out of sight, right?
Yeah, they're out of sight.
And they are farther away from me than the town would be? Because you said the next building's like an hour down the road?
You can just barely see this town off in the distance. You're guessing it's a couple of miles.
And the goblins are how far behind me?
You don't know. They weren't walking that fast. They were sort of strolling through the woods. They're probably hundreds of feet down the road.
Okay. I will turn around and make haste towards the goblins. This baby weighs 10 pounds, did you say?
Yeah. Does that encumber you?
Oh, I'm already encumbered to begin with.
How much shit do you have?
21 pounds of stuff. And I'm already lightly encumbered. With this extra 10 pounds, though, I'm not mediumly encumbered. So
You're still just lightly?
Yeah.
You're still moving at 9?
Yeah. So I don't know how to quite do it, but I will, push my way. If I can jog with the child or something.
Yeah, roll another willpower check.
Oh god, the baby's gonna wake up when I'm jogging. Shit, that's not a +6, but that's a natural 1, so who cares?
Yeah, you take off and do a light jog, and the baby starts screaming.
Oh god.
You think that it might be sensing your motives.
Oh god, no, the child. Well, if anything, that'll alert the goblins, so maybe that's not such a bad thing.
Wee! Wee!
Shut up, you little brat! God, you're always whining.
Yeah, about a minute or two, you come around a bend and you see the goblins walking away from you. As you're sort of like running up to them, and they stop and turn around.
I approached...
some words amongst themselves. You see one of them draw a knife, and the others don't actually draw weapons.
I pat the baby on the back a few times, trying to hush it and bob it up and down. And then I produce from my pocket a gold coin. And I hold it up to the goblins, put it away, and then I lift the baby and hold it out to them. And put it on my shoulder and pull out the gold coin again, put it back and hold the baby out.
One of them steps forward. What you want?
So, do you want to buy this little baby?
Where'd that gold go? Show me gold. And the goblin takes a step forward.
I will sell you the baby.
Stick.
I will sell you the baby for the gold.
Narrows his eyes. From behind him. Another one jumps in with some grunts. Baby and gold, says the lead goblin with a stick, and takes a step towards you.
Okay, first, just here, hold this, and I reach out and to extend the baby to the lead one.
He reaches out with a single left hand to grab the baby.
I let him take it from me. And as soon as the baby weight is off of my arms, I turn and run.
All right, so I guess I don't even need to look up how much money these goblins might have. Yeah, he grabs the baby in one hand, and it's probably heavier than he was accounting for. You take off and run. You hear some clamoring from behind you. Screeches of goblins, cries of the baby. Do you turn back to see what's going on?
I will run. I'll spend a minute running before I look back.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, within a minute, you're running. Your heart's pounding. You look back, and all you see is this road winding through the hills and the trees. No
Okay.
goblins in sight. You can still hear the cries of the baby echoing.
Okay, well now I feel a little bad, so I'm gonna circle around and kind of like hop off the road and go back through the woods, just 15 feet off the road, and try and find the baby via the cries.
Roll a dexterity check.
+9, 26.
Yeah. So you creep around through the woods, poke out from behind a tree just off the road, and you see the goblin standing right where you left them, standing in a circle around the baby, which is lying in the dirt, still screaming. They appear to be having some sort of argument or discussion. Sounds more like an argument.
If they haven't seen me,
they're pointing at the baby and shouting at each other.
Stay where I am, hiding, and watch. And of course, anyone talking in another language always sounds like arguing. You hear two people in Vietnamese talking, or people talking to you at Vietnamese, you're like, oh my god, I've pissed them off. And then someone nearby will translate, and they're like, oh, they want to know how old you are. And you're like, oh, they just sound angry all the time, but they're not. It happens.
Yeah.
I just watched the child and the gobs.
Okay. How long do you wait? So this scene goes on for...
I mean, after like 5 minutes, I'm going to get kind of bored.
Yeah, they're still shouting at each other in about 5 minutes. After about 5 minutes, the pointing is also extended to the trees. At one point, you think they're pointing to you, and then no.
Well, I'm getting a little bored here. I feel comfortably hidden. I'm a 14-year-old kid. I'm not that. Yeah, I'll open up my bag and start snacking on some of the food that I have.
All right. So after maybe 15 minutes, you see one of the goblins winds up disappointedly slogging off to the northwest off the road. The other two remain around the crying baby. One gives it a bit of a nudge with his toe.
There's two left then?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think a 14-year-old half-elf with 7 strength can take 2 goblins.
Do you feel lucky?
No, I have a -1 to hit, and I have 2 HP and 10 AC.
One of the goblins is... About a minute later, the one who didn't kick the baby reaches down, picks it up by the foot, and stands back up. And the two of them start walking to the north, off the road. They leaving the blue blanket.
This is my chance. This is my chance. I will come running out of the woods, if quietly if possible, and I want to run up behind the one who's not carrying the baby by the foot and just stab him in the back with the dagger.
Awesome. Are you charging?
I am charging.
Okay.
So charging is +2. Back attack is... Well, do I get surprise?
You do not. So you come running out of the woods, leaping at this goblin. Apparently you weren't as quiet as you thought, and he starts turning just as you're leaping at him. So you can roll the hit.
With back attack? All right, so charge is 2, back attack is 2.
So he's just looking over his shoulder.
And then strength is -1, so D20 +3. Here goes. 14?
14 will do it.
I stab him for 4 damage. Yes.
Yeah, so you... All right, so you slide a blade between his ribs just as he's rotating to turn to you. He doesn't go down, but you see a spout of blood spew from his back as both goblins turn to face you. Roll initiative.
Uh-oh. I really wanted him to die there. I was actually hoping that I was going to get surprised and be +6, and then I would crit, and then he was going to die. This was a mistake. Oh shit, this was a mistake.
You're unlucky, but not as unlucky as the goblins who go after you. Okay. So standing before you is one goblin unarmed, one wielding a stick and a baby.
Is the one with the stick and the baby, is he within melee range of me?
Yeah, they're both adjacent. They're both right next to you.
Okay, I'm going to withdraw and run.
Okay.
Back into the woods the way that I came.
All right. They're both actually facing away from you still. Like they haven't had a round.
Oh, well then I'm going to fucking stab this guy and then run.
Okay. You can only run half as far if you stab, but...
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So that should be a D20 +1 to hit. Mm-hmm. 8 is a miss, and then I flee.
You still get back attack, but that's still a miss.
Yeah, well, I can get -1 to hit for my low strength.
Okay.
So the back attack +2 -1 is 1. Right. So then I flee back into the woods.
Okay. They turn and scream. How fast? So you're movement 9.
Well, no, I've eaten some food. If I've eaten at least 1 pound of food, I am no longer encumbered.
Okay, so you're moving at movement 12.
Yes.
You're running into the woods. You hear crashing and screeching behind you. But nothing eats you that round. Roll initiative. Damn, these goblins can't catch a break.
I'm going to try and pick up and throw a rock at them this round. 6.
All right, you go first. You still have a dagger in your hand.
Yeah. I glance over my shoulder looking at them. Are they chasing?
Roll a perception check.
29.
Yeah, you can see them through the trees. Actually, they're pretty close behind you.
I pick up a stone and hurl it at one of them, the one that's not holding the baby.
You only see one goblin.
Then I hurl this rock at that one.
Okay.
Do I get -5 for being non-proficient in rock throwing, or is throwing a rock, base proficiency for everyone?
Oh, I'm a nicer DM than you. I'll give you I'll assume that you're proficient with a rock.
Awesome. I hurl the rock at the goblin and miss.
Yeah, it clanks into a tree nearby.
Okay. I guess I will... is rock throwing 1 per round or 2 per round?
Well, I think it's 1 per round.
Okay.
And can you move and shoot melee weapons?
You can do a half move and do one missile attack.
Yeah. Okay.
I will... I guess if that goblin's getting closer to me, I will continue to flee into the woods a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You see a stick go flying over your shoulder.
Oof.
And you look and see that the goblin's just like a few feet behind you.
Uh-oh. Is this level ground or sloped ground?
It's uneven territory, so you're sort of jumping around logs and trees, and there's slight hills here and there.
Okay, I want to get to an area of... I want to find if it's uneven, I want to find an area where I can be on a relative high ground compared to what is around me. If that makes sense. If I want to find a slight rise, or maybe a dry creek and stand on the other side.
Have we rolled for initiative? I don't think we did.
No, we haven't. Not for this round. Going back to dagger with a 7.
Okay. You go first. You position yourself on the high ground.
You cannot win, Goblin. I have the high ground. And I will hold my melee attack in case something closes, and then I will use my reaction to hit it.
Okay. You see the goblin come to a halt a couple feet away from you. You're standing atop a large rock towering over this goblin, dagger in hand, and he doesn't close. You see he's alone and unarmed. He squints at you and look at the book. He reaches down and picks up a stick, which he points menacingly in your direction.
I reach down and pick up a rock.
You'd have to get off your boulder to get a rock.
Oh, no. Okay, well, then I just shake my dagger at him menacingly.
This goes on for a moment or two. He looks around, slowly starts backing away, shaking his stick at you, and eventually disappears behind the trees, leaving you alone, king of your rock, queen of your rock.
I chase after him.
All right. Roll a perception check.
My previous 29 doesn't help me?
No, it does not.
Oh, God. 27?
All right. You go crashing through the tree. Roll a dex check. Running through the trees. You spot the goblin off to your right.
11.
Crashing through the trees. He turns to face you as you close. Roll initiative.
7?
All right. So you're running towards this goblin. He's turned to face you. I mean, he heard you coming. He's turned to face you. He's got a stick in his hand.
Mm-hmm. I'm going for the.
So you're closing regardless.
I'm closing.
Thump. What's your AC?
10.
What's your hit points?
2.
Are you serious?
Yes. I knew this was a bad idea. Is Claresa dead?
Yeah, she's gone. I mean, that's a 19.
That's a natural 19?
Even with an improvised weapon, there's no way you can do less than 2, right?
Nope. Well, Desmond the Dashing Part 2.
You were free and clear. And I even gave you a shout. I was like, he turns to face you.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to...
Well,
So this is what happens when you have 14-year-old wizard adventurer children, you know.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's worth rolling save versus deaths or anything.
No.
You get totally... Yeah, you just like come running at the goblin who just like baseball status, just whacks you straight in the head and you go down.
Well...
6 points of damage.
She was fun while she lasted, guys.
I didn't even make it to the first break.
No.
That's not how I wanted my revenge. I wanted to draw it out longer.
Well, maybe you'll get your revenge thoroughly next time. Switch it up again, or do you have more on your plate that you want to DM?
What do you mean? You can't do the same DM twice in a row, can you?
No, it's not allowed. Let's.
You're the only one that's had these really short characters, though. Like I think you've probably gotten more sessions as a player on Dicing with Death, but I've never had a character not survive a session or two.
Yeah, this is my second character that's died within the first session.
Desmond, I think, made it through a break, didn't he?
I think he made it through break. Yeah. All right, well...
so should we take a break before rolling characters?
Yeah, let's take a break, and when we come back, Ryan's going to roll some characters. We'll set up the Skype cam so he can bring out his brass dice and roll a real character. And we'll see you guys in a few moments. Ta-ta, everybody.